Hey there. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday? Yes. Happy Friday. It's been a crazy week already. How's everybody doing? Good to see you. Hope everyone's having a great week and ready to dive into this week's Workout Wednesday 2023, week 30. As a reminder, we're doing the. What are we doing? We're doing revisit. We're revisiting old challenges from long ago and bringing them back and remastering them, if you will, bringing in new features and seeing how much better things are now than they were way back then. So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the specific challenge that Kyle's got us taken care of this week. So we are. That's not the right one. Let's do. That's my YouTube channel. You don't want to see that. Here we go. You want to see that. There we go. Week 30. Here we go. So we're going to be doing a drill down, dynamic drill down on a scatter plot in one view. All right, so one view. Okay, so one sheet. We're going to do this all in one sheet. So this goes all the way back to week 41 of 2017. So this goes way back. So we're going to be doing sales over profit by state. But if we go down here and we look at the actual interactive one, so we have, we'll choose Alabama. If we select Alabama, there are all the cities within Alabama, right? And then if we're like, cool, I'm done now, I want to go back to state, I click on a city, and it takes me back to state. Okay? So that's what we're going to build. Let's do that. Let's do that right now. Here we go. So we're going to use the Superstore data source as always. Let's see. Data source. New data source. Sample data source. We know we're going to do sales. I think it's this way. Sales over profit. Sum of sales divided by sum of profit. Or not divided by. Over sum of profit. There we go. Let's see just to make sure. Yep, profit sales. Very good. Okay, we've got a circle there. Let's do actual circles, let's do closed circles, not open circles. And it looks like profit ratio is going to be on color. All right. Yep. All right. So now what we're going to do is, first thing we need to do is we need to change this format to a percentage at one decimal place. There we go. All right. So what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to use parameter actions. So let's build a parameter here. And I'll call this P state for a parameter state. It's going to be a string. I want it all, and I want the default value to also be all. Okay. All right. So I put in all. What's that going to do? What is going to happen if I just do all? Well, we need to build in a calculated field, right? So what we're going to do is, let's bring over my calculated field window, and I'm going to call this dynamic dimension. If my P state equals all, then return state. Let's just do that for now. Okay, let's drag this out to detail. There we go. mine does not look like that. Is this a an adapted superstore. All right, so let's make sure that that is right. Wonder why. It's all right. Doesn't matter. Huh? That looks completely different, doesn't it? Order priority. All right, we'll see. So let's do file, save as, download a copy. There we go. Now we can go back to here. Let's add that as a data source. Microsoft data source, Microsoft downloads, sample superstore. Bring in the orders. Go to sheet 1. And then I'll just do a little swap of, so this is the one that I'm using. Yeah, that's the one that I'm using. This is where I want to go, so I'm going to replace data sources. Click OK. What changed? State, I need to... Okay, so it's not state province, it's just state. So we'll replace references on this one to just state. There we go. That looks better. Alright. Now, let's show our parameter for this one. Alright, and then let's create a parameter action. Alright, so let's do actions. Let's do change parameter. Let's do pState on the data source is going to be this one, the Excel data source. Target parameter is pState. And we're just going to fill it in, right? We're just going to fill it in with whatever that is. And I know that my dynamic dimension right now is all the state names, right? So that's what works. Aggregation none on select whenever we clear the selection for this. I don't think we want to do anything for now. So let's click OK. Let's click OK. Now whenever I select Oklahoma, you can see that I select Oklahoma. And everything else goes away. Because my dynamic dimension changed, right? My dynamic dimension changed. So now what I need to do is I need to continue building onto this. But now, so what happens, right? So what I did in this current calculated field is I didn't do an else, right? And in an if statement, if you don't include an else, it's just going to null out any time where your logical statement is false. So that's why this dynamic dimension is null, right? So then what I need to do, I'm going to do else if pState equals a state name. Then what? Return what? Can you think about it? What are we going to return? That's right. We're going to return the cities. Let's keep everything else. Let's just, again, build this out. Hopefully I get only the cities within Oklahoma. Is that what happens? Stillwater, yep. Okay, so I need to exclude the nulls. Right? Because that makes sense, because I don't want that. I don't want nulls included. Okay. Then what? What do we do here? What are we going to do now? I think we need to build in I'm thinking that we need to build in a new parameter action. It's the way that I'm thinking about this. The way that I'm thinking about this is now we need to build in a new calculated field, or a new parameter action on the data source. Target parameter is pState again. Yeah. I'm thinking this might mess with things, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I do that. I do this. I should see Owasso populate into this parameter. Let's see. Okay. Owasso goes, that Tableau's like, I don't know what that means. So I can't help you because Owasso, you haven't told me what to do. And I excluded nulls, remember? So that's why this sheet goes blank, is because I've excluded null through my filter, and Tableau doesn't know what to do with this. So let's again add in, let's create this again, and now we'll just do an else. Else if what? If pState equals a city, or equals a city, then all. And that's that, but now it needs to be state. And so I haven't yet figured out how to change that parameter back to state. Okay. Maybe I need a new parameter. pCity. I'll leave it blank for now. Actions. Nope, that's the tooltip. If I want actions, worksheet actions, parameter 1. I actually want to do pCity. Dynamic dimensions none, click OK. So now let's do pCity, show pCity. Show, it's blank. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. I want to change this back to all. I want to change this back to nothing. When I click on this, I get, oh, okay. That's why it's not working. Okay, so let's do, what are we gonna do? pState. Still have a null here. Okay. All right, let's look at this calculated field here. If pState equals all, then return state. Okay. Then I'm going to click on a circle. and I want that circle to populate with the state name, right? So what we could do, P city, I mean, this doesn't sound right, but like, all right, let me go down a rabbit hole and then we'll go from there. So let's do I didn't think so. What if we do... No, this is not going to work. This is not what we want. Let's go back. I'm going down a wrong rabbit hole here. Okay, so let's do... How about if we do... Does it need... Like, does he specify it has to be done in... with parameter actions? But it says only to do it in one sheet. Okay. Because I need to have my... So there's two actions, right? So there's an action to turn... There's an action to turn state into... Or drill down into state, which we've got that, right? But then we just do that. Let's see. So let's do profit and sales by dynamic dimension and change this to all. All right, so that's every state colored by profit ratio. All right, I'm going to click on that, and that's going to get me a null for all of the other states, so we'll exclude that. And then a dot for every city. Okay. Then what? If because I could do something like this, right? So I could do what if I did this? What if this could be kind of weird, but it might work. So we'll embrace weird for a minute, right? If, what am I saying here? if p state equals a state name, then all and then worksheet, no, not tooltip, worksheet actions, change parameters. See, but it's the same field, right? That's the issue. The target parameter is p state, and I want to do calculation 1. Keep current value, select all, yeah. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll see. Great Falls, yeah. Because I've already selected that, right? So worksheet actions, p state, when use. Yeah, that's not working. Because what I was thinking of is that I could just say Montana, and then, oh, calculation 1 is null because does p state equal the state? No, it doesn't. Why? Actions. Let's do this again. Let's do all. I click on that. Okay. I've got that. Oh, so I've got two different things happening here, right? I've got conflicting actions. Because this action is still going to fire because I'm clicking on, and I only want it to click on, I only want one thing to click. So whenever I do this, I have one action, I have one parameter action that says fill in the p state parameter with the, or do I need to change this? Oh yeah, okay then. Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm one click short. So what happens is I go to Montana. I click on Montana. That fills in Montana here. Did I make things too difficult? Do I remove that and remove this? Actions. Remove that. And that shows me Great Falls. Now my dimension is all. So whenever I click on that, so I'm one click short. I'm one click over, right? So it clicks on, I click on that. So I click on this. That gives me all of the cities within Washington. And then I do that, and it takes me to just the city. And then I go there. That's not what's happening here. Oh. He made a state city. And then, which is, yeah. If state selected, then state city equals state. Oh, okay. So if, right. So if state's null, then state. If state equals city. If state equals state, then city, else null. Okay. Mine is pretty much the exact same thing. And then that goes away. Actions. State selected. State city parameter. Oh. P state equals state, then state, right? Is that what he did? If state equals, okay, okay, yeah. Yep, so state equals that. If state equals all, okay, so actions. Let's try it again. All. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is state. There it is. Cool. All right, so let's talk about this. So we did, let's change this. This will be the parameter driver. That's what I'll call it. The parameter driver. need this calculation. So what we did here, we did state, all right? So we created a state parameter, which we just defaulted to something. I just use all. You could use blank or pizza or whatever you wanted, right? Something not a state name. And then we built this calculated field, this dynamic dimension, which says if that parameter equals all, then return the state. If that parameter equals a state name, then return the city, else return null. Put that on detail, and that gives us a circle for every state or city. But to drive our parameter action, we built another calculation. If p state equals all, then return state, else return all, right? So what that means is, if my parameter state equals all, that field is going to have all the state names in it. I'm going to click on that, right? I'm going to click on a state in my data source from my dynamic dimension. That's going to change that parameter driver now to all. So the dynamic dimension is just there for the label and the dimensionality of the view. I'm driving everything with this field. Therefore, whenever I click on it again, all is going back into this parameter, which is then resetting this calculation, which is pretty cool. So now, whenever I click on a state, click on Montana, here are all the cities in Montana. And you can see how this is working in the tooltip, right? So if I hover on this, my dynamic dimension and my parameter driver are the exact same. Why is that? Let's look at this. When p state equals all, which it does, it's going to return whatever state name is there. Now, whenever I select a state, let's look at our tooltip again. I have the dimension, the dynamic dimension shows the city name within that state. However, my parameter driver is all. Therefore, when I click on it again, it goes back to all and it resets the view. That's a pretty handy little calculation there. So you can do single sheet drill down using this setup. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good one. Pretty short one today. Pretty quick one. Enjoyed it. That was good. So format it, tooltip it, put it on a dashboard. We'll call it good. So that was a pretty quick one today. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate everybody watching. This was a great video. This was a great challenge by Kyle. Thank you, Kyle. There will not be a Workout Wednesday Live next week, as I will be on vacation. So tune in 2 weeks. I'll be back on the 11th of August is our next one. So be sure to check that out. Excited to do it. So thank you so much. As always, we are data people. I'm Hipster Viz Ninja. Go forth and viz.